Hey guys, it's me Lego Master 5 and today this video is meant to discuss how the universe works in the Lego show and a bit of its prequel leading up to the current space show. So quick disclaimer, not everything was written by me, it was also by other people who were working on the show, and you don't need to understand everything so you get what's going on in the space show. Not all of this has to do something with it, just a little, or I should say majority of what I'm going to say. So let's start off right at the beginning, at the prologue. This was actually not written by me, this was written by somebody who would like to remain anonymous for now, and another one of his friends. And they approached me one morning and were like, hey, we created the story, can you approve it to be as the prequel? And I was like, sure. So 100 billion eons ago, the one above all used all its power to create the Celestials, or Builders, a godlike and immortal race, tasked with creating the multiverse, after the one above all used up all his power to create them. The Celestials made the first one of them created to be their emperor, and tasked the most powerful one to be his right-hand man. The Celestials also had a lot of power, as I mentioned. They were almost godlike. They were able to travel through the multiverse, create places mortals and non-celestials can use to travel through the multiverse, immortality, change their appearance, create life, and these are just the most important ones. The Celestials also set up temples where they could worship the one above all, and here non-celestials can unlock their inner powers or companions. We'll get into this later. Back to the Celestial Empire. Together, they created the multiverse, aka the Lego themes, including licensed ones. The Emperor's son was also born at this time. While this was going on, his right-hand man, Dako, was unsatisfied that he was just the right-hand man, and how the Emperor decided to build the multiverse. And he believed that it should be much more twisted and dark. And since he was really unsatisfied, he began plotting to overthrow the Emperor and his son, so he could rule all and create it how he desired. He secretly began convincing the Celestials that they should follow his cause and help him overthrow the Emperor. Most of them opted to join. Together, they attempted to kill the Emperor, but the Emperor and his son fled and were joined by the last of the Celestials loyal to him. Together, they tried to take them on, starting the Celestial War. In the end, only Darko and the Emperor and his son stood. In the end, the two were able to manage the Dark Lord to the Underworld, which is a smaller pocket universe. It's basically hell, but the Emperor used up all his life force to get him there, making his son the last Celestial, finishing what his father started. He created the rest of the multiverse. Fast forward 100 billion eons, and the people Lego minifigures in the Ninjago universe discovered one of the temples used for multiversal travel. Remember how I said they were able to make these, that had the ability to make mortals be able to travel through the multiverse? Yeah, those. During this time, the Dark Lord escaped the underworld to one of the universes, the Minecraft universe. Here he convinced the inhabitants that he has the power to double the size of their world if they helped him, and they agreed, but in a twisted way, he used his power to enslave all of them for his own cause. Okay, you really don't need to know this one, but it's just so you understand what the reference is in the show, and that's all. In the other universe, the Star Wars one, the timeline ends in an alternate way, and Darth Vader survives the Return of the Jedi. Again, this really doesn't really have to do anything to the show, but it's only so you understand some of the references and where one of the characters comes from. And yeah, that's all why I'm telling you this. So here, after Return of the Jedi, Darth Vader embarks with Luke to explore the unknown regions, stumbling upon one of the celestial temples and multiversal travel. Entering through, they end up in the core universe, which is a mix of city, town, rock, raiders, etc. Here, they meet someone named Matt, who helps them get back and they reward him with technology from Star Wars. Fast forward a few years, and Darko takes the name of the Dark Lord and begins his conquest to take over the multiverse with the enslaved Minecraft mobs, starting with the core universe. Their Matt assembles a team to try and stop them, including the son of the Celestial Emperor. Together, they stop him and banish him to the underworld. Again, it was not necessary to know this one and won't be discussed in the show, but I just thought I could squeeze it in so you could be ready for this. So back to the Star Wars universe. After the fall of the Empire, one of the remaining royal guards and the former Jedi Temple guard, Trevor, is one of the last one of the royal guards who did not commit suicide. At the death of the Emperor, he fled to Tatooine and worked as a scavenger and a mercenary, looting crashed Imperial ships. On one fateful day, he stumbled upon the ruins of a celestial temple and accidentally accessed multiversal travel. He ended up in the LEGO Space Universe, a mix of all LEGO space themes. Here, he felt like it is a better place, and since he had a lot of experience in fighting, he opted to join the main leading force in that universe, the United Space Agency, the mix of all LEGO space factions from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and early 2000s. We are going to say USA in the show. We do not mean United States of America. We mean United Space Agency. I just want to let you know. And hence the start of the show. One more thing I want to talk about are companions. They are basically a smaller version of an existing minifigure who boosts their skills if close by. This is only for some who are deemed worthy, and as I mentioned, they can also be found in ruins or a celestial temple, among with the spirit of one who talks to the worthy if they visit it, also giving them enhanced abilities triggered by strong emotions. This makes them turn like bright and shiny, almost like a celestial. So the companion is basically like this little spirit that judges one by its purity, and if it thinks it is good, then it will take its form in a smaller version, and as I said, it's a companion, so it'll stay with it, boosting their abilities for the rest of that character's life. Thanks a lot for watching. I know this was a lot to get through, and not all of this has to do with something in the show. Why I said this is that in case we're going to do some sort of sequel or spin-off to the show. Plus, I was pretty young when I was making a lot of these stories, so that's also a thing. But no, not the show, but these prequels itself. I was making the show in 2021 and now. But see you in the next episode.